This is the lazy hell in the underworld, specifically designed to punish the lazy, and it's just one of the 7 deadly sins. This massive grinding disc is the cruelest punishment in hell. The punished individuals are required to run non-stop, as stopping will result in being crushed into mincemeat. Alternatively, they can choose to jump into the water, but the flesh-eating fish in the water will instantly tear them into pieces. This is the lazy hell in the underworld, specifically designed to punish the lazy, and it's just one of the 7 deadly sins. There are also hellfire soup for the sin of murder, tongue-pulling hell for the sin of lying, sinful mirror hell for the sin of betrayal, abyss hell for the sin of violence, frozen hell for the sin of injustice, and quicksand hell for the sin of filial impiety. Everyone has to undergo the judgment of these 7 levels of hell within 49 days after death. Only if they are completely innocent can they be reincarnated. Otherwise, they will be forever unable to be reborn. Today, a special soul arrives here. He is a firefighter who had an accident during a rescue mission just 5 minutes ago. The safety rope was burned, and while he fell to the ground, he tightly protected the little girl he had just saved. The little girl was unharmed, but when he saw his own body and his sobbing teammates, he realized that he was dead. Soon, 2 underworld messengers came to take him to the underworld. The female messenger was elated because the card in her hand showed that firefighters are considered honored guests in the underworld by sacrificing himself to save others. He has accumulated great merit and is a righteous king. It should be noted that the last honored guest appeared 422 years ago. They were happy, but the firefighter couldn't accept it because he still had a frail and sick deaf-mute mother. He couldn't just leave his mother behind like that. But suddenly, he found his feet suspended in the air and slowly sucked into the vortex behind him. The deceased didn't have the opportunity to bid farewell to their loved ones. Soon, the firefighter arrived in the underworld. Here, the firefighter met another messenger. Who is the boss here? The responsibility of the underworld messengers is to do their utmost to help the deceased reincarnate. The 3 of them brought the firefighter to the gate of hell. Since the firefighter is an honored guest, he could enter first. However, upon entering, the messenger was dumbfounded because the firefighter's first trial was actually the murder hell. It should be noted that the judgments in the 7 levels of hell range from light to heavy, meaning that among the 7 deadly sins, murder is the lightest accusation for the firefighter. The firefighter was stunned, saying, "I've never killed anyone." The messenger explained that if one indirectly causes someone's death through words, actions, or online violence, they will also be convicted. Just then, the stone slab beneath the firefighter's feet suddenly cracked open, revealing a sea of fire below, where countless souls guilty of murder were being burned. The firefighter instinctively reached out to save them, but suddenly he was loudly reproached by a fearsome figure, the king who rules over murder hell. He interrogated the firefighter, questioning why he abandoned the rescue of his colleague during a mission, resulting in the colleague's death who could have been saved. This is considered indirect manslaughter. Weighed down by heavy memories and guilt, the firefighter remains silent. But is this really the truth? At this moment, the ambassador who defended him revealed the truth. It turned out that at the time, their colleague was trapped under a slab of stone and unable to move while the building was in imminent danger of collapsing. The colleague asked the firefighter to go and save the people first, and come back to save him later. After saving 8 people, the firefighter wanted to return to save his colleague, but it was too late. The building had collapsed. After understanding the truth, the king made a judgment the firefighter was innocent. This also released the firefighter from the burden he had carried for years. Following that, the 4 of them arrived at the second trial, the hell of laziness. Here, the souls are specifically judged on whether they were diligent in their lives or wasted their time. The kind-hearted old lady who rules over the hell of laziness reviewed the firefighter's life through a mirror and discovered that he had been hardworking his entire life. The old lady couldn't help but applaud and even wanted to write a biography for him. She asked the firefighter, "What drives you to live so diligently?" But the firefighter's answer shocked everyone. He replied, "For money." As soon as the old lady heard this, her expression immediately changed. The messengers panicked as well, because money is called the false deity in hell, and worshipping it is also a sin. With a single command, the old lady pushed the firefighter's raft towards the waterfall. As the firefighter turned his head, he saw the terrifying scene below the waterfall. The firefighter is shocked, and the hell messenger quickly jumps down and grabs the bamboo raft. He once again activates the liquid mirror, allowing the king to witness the firefighter's life. It turns out that the firefighter had multiple jobs during his lifetime. After work, he worked as a server at a barbecue restaurant, delivered vegetables at the market on weekends, cleaned the bathhouse, and even worked as a chauffeur at night. He worked so hard to earn money because he had a deaf and sick mother and a younger brother still in school. Money had enslaved him. But what crime did he commit? The king is moved and ultimately declares the firefighter innocent. They continue on to the next level, but an accident occurs on the way. Countless restless spirits suddenly attack them. The hell messenger conjures weapons and slays the spirits. Why did this happen? The messenger tells the firefighter that it must be because one of his immediate family members has become a restless spirit. The firefighter panics and immediately thinks of his feeble mother. After they shake off the spirits, the messenger decides to personally visit the mortal world. He arrives at the firefighter's home and sees that the firefighter's mother is safe. If the mother is fine, then it must be the younger brother. Sure enough, the restless spirit of the younger brother quickly appears and escapes through the broken window. The messenger immediately chases after him but fails to catch him in the end. Finally, the messenger discovers the truth in the department where the younger brother served. It turns out that a few days ago, the younger brother was accidentally shot by a rookie soldier while on duty. Subsequently, the lieutenant who arrived feared that this incident would affect his promotion, so he instigated the rookie soldier to bury the younger brother and publicly declared that the younger brother had deserted without trace. However, he was unaware that the younger brother still had a hint of breath when he was buried. Consequently, he did not die from the gunshot wound but instead suffocated to death from being buried alive. In the following days, the rookie soldier, burdened with guilt, could not rest and eventually could not bear the inner torment. He then threw a map with markings into the younger brother's house, revealing the burial location. After completing these tasks, the rookie soldier prepared to commit suicide to atone for his guilt. At this moment, the restless spirit of the younger brother appeared and begged the messenger to save this foolish young man. The younger brother promised that if the messenger intervened, he would obediently return to the underworld. The messenger agreed and promptly saved the rookie soldier. Through the messenger, the younger brother conveyed to the rookie soldier, "You must live well from now on. I have already forgiven you." After the rookie soldier promised, the younger brother's resentment was also appeased. On the other hand, in the underworld, the older brother encountered a difficulty. He too faced judgment in the Hell of Lies. This time, the king was a young girl who refused to listen to any explanations and directly ordered her subordinates to pull out the firefighter's tongue. The man is sentenced to have his tongue pulled out in hell for his lies during his lifetime. In a crucial moment, the Hell Messenger defends him through the mirror of karma. It turns out that over the years, the firefighter has been lying to two people. One is his mother, as he regularly writes letters deceiving her, telling her that he is doing well, married, and has children, so she shouldn't worry. The other is the daughter of his deceased teammate, whom he convinces that her father is still alive, giving her hope. Understanding the reasons behind it, the king realizes that the firefighter's lies were all well-intentioned. Therefore, the king declares the firefighter innocent and allows him to proceed to the next level of hell. In the subsequent trials of the unjust hell and the betrayal hell, the firefighter successfully passes the tests. However, in the violent hell, he encounters trouble. It turns out that in high school, he once brutally beat his younger brother and then ran away from home. He still hasn't received forgiveness from his brother until today, and now he is facing execution. The messenger in the mortal world cannot save him in time, so he contacts the female messenger, asking her to help apply for cumulative punishment. This means that if the firefighter is also convicted in the next level of hell, he would receive double punishment, and the three messengers would also be deprived of the chance to be reincarnated. The king agrees to this. They proceed to the last hell, the Hell of Family Bond. This is where the sins committed against family members are judged, and it is the gravest sin among the 7 deadly sins. So what crime did the firefighter commit? It turns out that in high school, he had attempted to kill his mother. At the time, his mother was seriously ill, and his brother was malnourished. He lost hope in life and wanted to end it all for the family. However, in the end, he didn't follow through. From then on, he ran away from home and worked tirelessly, burdened by guilt and too ashamed to return. Meanwhile, trouble arises in the mortal world. The deaf and mute mother storms into the military camp, brandishing a cardboard sign seeking justice for her youngest son. When the lieutenant, who is the culprit, sees her, he immediately rushes over and orders her to leave. The mother refuses and pulls out the map with markings, indicating the burial site of her son. This terrifies the lieutenant, and he violently pushes the mother, causing her to faint. Witnessing this scene, the younger brother, who had already let go of his hatred, can no longer suppress his inner fury. His skin starts peeling off, reverting back to the form of a restless spirit. He would rather become a vengeful ghost, forever unable to be reborn, but protecting his mother. Although the chief messenger tries to intervene, he is choked by the brother and thrown aside. All the resentment transforms into a massive storm, and the brother loses his sanity, indiscriminately bombing the military camp. His resentment runs too deep, and it affects the older brother in the underworld. The older brother suddenly becomes trapped in quicksand, slowly being consumed. It turns out that the younger brother's crime prevents the older brother from being reborn as well. Hearing the desperate cries of the female messenger, the younger brother looks up and sees the older brother being swallowed by the quicksand. In order to save the older brother, he suppresses his resentment, and the chief messenger takes this opportunity to subdue him. At this moment, a giant structure emerges from the sandy ground of hell. This is the final trial the firefighter must face, the Hell of Family Bond. The king of the underworld, who holds the greatest authority, immediately passes a verdict. He declares that the firefighter had once attempted parricide, an act of ultimate betrayal, an unforgivable crime. The female messenger tries to defend the firefighter, mentioning that he didn't follow through in the end, and their mother, who was unconscious at the time, was unaware of it. However, the king summons the mirror and shows the truth. It turns out that when the firefighter raised the pillow, the mother was actually awake, but she intentionally didn't react because she knew that her absence would make her children's lives a little easier. Understanding the truth, the firefighter becomes even more guilt-ridden. He cries and says that he is willing to accept punishment but wants to apologize to his mother in person. However, the king of the underworld states that apologies made after death are too late. Despite having 15 years to do so, the firefighter had been evading responsibility. Suddenly, the ground shakes, and the image of the mother appears in the sand. It turns out that with the help of the chief messenger, the younger brother had entered his mother's dream. He informs his mother that he has finally become a judge as he had wished and will now be in charge of judging bad people in heaven. With tears in his eyes, the younger brother bids farewell to their mother and asks her to forgive the older brother. Just as the younger brother weeps, their previously mute mother finally speaks in the dream. She says that she had never blamed the older brother and instead felt that she had been a burden to him. The older brother rushes forward to embrace their mother, but the mirror collapses, leaving him with no chance to directly apologize. At this moment, the king of the underworld tears up the judgment document because in the underworld, if a person sincerely receives forgiveness from those in the mortal world, hell no longer holds them accountable. Finally, the firefighter is granted the opportunity to be reincarnated. I wonder, if the 7 levels of hell truly exist, how many people can actually emerge unscathed and successfully be reborn? Can you? Follow for more.